about my little Chinese turbine. The other turbine's working just fine. Both of them, both my Missouri wind and solars. Been having some troubles with my Chinese turbine though, tracking the wind. When it points into the wind, it makes surprisingly good power, but it doesn't always point into the wind. Now a lot of it could be because I have it in dirty wind location. It means 10 foot off the ground and blackberry bushes, and I got trees and camper and stuff, and the wind's coming from that way, off the mountains. But what I think I might do oh, there it goes, out of the wind. I might drop it down to 3 blades. If I drop it down to 3 blades, that might help it some. Because surprisingly, when it stays pointing into the wind, it makes really good power. But it doesn't stay into the wind. It just kind of floats around. It's like, where's my wind? Where's the wind? So I gotta fix that. So I've been experimenting with that for the past 2-3 days now. And there's my Missouri wind and solar, old school, working really good. Let's see here. Let's go up and take a look at the that Freedom PMG, Missouri wind and solar, Freedom PMG. This is the single core. There it is. Let's go up and get a close shot of this guy. This guy by far is the quietest one of them all. Let me hide behind my truck. Eventually I want to take this guy and put him on the back roof. This is by far the best turbine I've ever had. Working great. Right now I'm running 9 blades on it. That way I don't have to worry about it. I'm using the blades to help control the speed of the turbine so it doesn't go too fast, because I don't want it to put out too much power. Man, that thing spins nice. So nice and smooth. But you know, I'm only getting, I don't know, 10-mile-an-hour winds maybe. Let's go take a look. Walk all the way back to my little shed. Then after this I gotta go get Corky on his wheelchair so he can come out and we'll go do our walk. Gotta take Corky for a walk. It's my 80-inch Falcon blades. Poor little 500 fell down, bit them. That was my fault. The ground was frozen and I didn't get the guy wires on it. So here we go. Turn on the light. You guys can probably see it anyway, but okay, the amp gauge right now is hooked up to the Missouri Wind and Solar Old School on the back of the house. That's all it's hooked up to. Right now, yeah, 5 mile an hour wind, 7, and we're just getting started here, bouncing around. Oh, back down to 5. But anyway, right now I have everything hooked up to just the grid ties. Now I noticed this grid tie right now is running the Missouri Wind and Solar Freedom PMG. Now the Freedom PMG seems to be really grid tie friendly. What I mean by that is that excuse me, when it starts making power a lot sooner at a lower wind speed, and so the grid tie starts kicking on at a lower wind speed before it gets a big gust, and so it doesn't go into over voltage. Now the Missouri Wind and Solar PMA, this is the one on the back of the roof, the old school one. It takes about 7 mile an hour wind to get this to start turning on, and then like 10 mile an hour wind, it would go into over voltage because it's already putting out like 20 volts or something, and it would shut off with a gust of wind to hit it. And so what I did is I put my capacitor on there, and that fixed it, smoothed it right out. And so now it gives the 10.8 to 30 volt grid tie a chance to kick on before the turbine puts out too much power for the grid tie. And another thing I tried to fix that was by hooking that to a 22 to 60 volt grid tie, and that worked too, so it wouldn't go into over voltage with the old school. But you know, making some power, 8 mile an hour winds. Anything above like 7 or 8 mile an hour winds, and I'm making power. This is my wind gate or wind watts right here coming out of my grid ties. So you know, I'm happy with it. Yeah, so right now everything's, I unhooked the battery and just running grid ties right now off my power from the wind turbine, and it's working good. And yeah, but the Freedom PMG seems to be really grid tie friendly. It doesn't, I mean, right now look at the light. Oh no, it just turned off. I have to wait again for another wind gust to show you, but it'll I don't know why, but it turns on. Oh yeah, it's going right now. 50s, back down to 30s, 6 mile an hour wind. Oh, it stopped. Yeah, see, about 7 mile an hour winds, and I'm making 40s and 50s for watts coming out of my grid ties. So I mean, I don't know, it's working good for me. And you know, I get gusts that are pretty high sometimes. Oh damn it, every time I get up here I don't even hear any wind out there because it's only 4 mile an hour winds. 3. but I'm still making enough voltage to keep the grid tie turned on. Off of, this is my old school Missouri. That's the only one that's hooked up to this volt or amp gauge, volt and amp gauge. But oh well. Anyway, just thought I'd give you an update. Still monkeying around with that little Chinese turbine. Trying to get it to work. I think I'm going to drop it down to 3 blades. That way the blades, because the blades seem to flip it right out of the wind. Having 6 blades on there, if I drop it to 3, it'll probably help a bunch. So I'm going to try that next. Right now, the way I have the tail set, because I've tried several different things with it. The way the tail is set up right now, I have a spring on it to help with the furling mechanism, so it doesn't furl out of the wind so quick. It seems to be the best that I've tried so far for the tail. Anyway, I gotta get going, you guys. Gotta take my dog for a walk. Talk to you later. Bye. Thanks for watching.